Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chapter 6 Maitreya Uvacha Ata Devagana Sarve Rudranikaiः Parajitaha Shulapattishanistrimsha Gada Gada Parigamudgaraihi Sanchinna Sarvangaha Sartvik Sambhya Bhayakulaha Swayambhuve Namaskritya Katnirninai Vedayan. All the priests and other members of the sacrificial assembly and all the demigods, having been defeated by the soldiers of Lord Shiva and injured by weapons like tridents and swords, approached Lord Brahma with great fear. After offering him obeisances, they began to speak in detail of all the events which had taken place. Upalabhya Purairvaitad Bhagavan Abja Sambhavaha Narayanascha Vishwatma Nakasyadvaramiyatuhu. Both Lord Brahma and Vishnu had already known that such events would occur in the sacrificial arena of Daksha, and knowing beforehand, they did not go to the sacrifice. Tada karna vibhuv praha te jiyasi krutagasi kshemaya tatra sa bhuyan na prayena bubhushatam. When Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and the members who had attended the sacrifice, he replied, "You cannot be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot have happiness in that way." Atapi yuyam krutakilbisha bhavam ye barhisho bhagabhajam paraduhu prasadayadvam parishuddhacetasa kshipraprasadam pragruhitanghripadmam. You have excluded Lord Shiva from taking part in the sacrificial results, and therefore you are all offenders at his lotus feet. Still, if you go without mental reservations and surrender unto him and fall down at his lotus feet, he will be very pleased. Ashasana Jivita Madhvarasya Lokasapala Kupitena Yasmin Tamashu Devam Priyaya Vihinam Kshamapayadvam Hrudi Viddham Duruptaihi. Lord Brahma also advised them that Lord Shiva is so powerful that by his anger all the planets and their chief controllers can be destroyed immediately. Also, he said that Lord Shiva was especially sorry because he had recently lost his dear wife and was also very much afflicted by the unkind words of Daksha. Under the circumstances, Lord Brahma suggested it would behoove them to go at once and beg his pardon. Naham na yajno na cha yuyamanye ye deha bhajo munayascha tattvam viduh pramanam balaviryayorva yasyatmatantrasya ka upayam viditset. Lord Brahma said that no one, not even himself, Indira, all other members assembled in the sacrificial arena, or all the sages could know how powerful Lord Shiva is. Under the circumstances, who would dare to commit an offense at his lotus feet? Sa ityamaadishya sura suranajastutaihi samanvitah पितृभिः सप्रजेशैः ययौ स्वधिष्यान्निलयं पुरद्विषः कैलासमध्रिप्रवरं प्रियं प्रभोः. After thus instructing all the demigods, the Pitas and the lords of the living entities, Lord Brahma took him with him and left for the abode of Lord Shiva, known as Kailasa Hill. Janmaushaditapo mantra yoga siddhairnaretaraihi jushtam kim naragandharvai apsarobhirvrutam sada. The abode known as Kailasha is full of different herbs and vegetables, and it is sanctified by Vedic hymns and mystic yoga practice. Thus, the residents of that abode are demigods by birth and have all mystic powers. Besides them, there are no other human beings. Nana manimayai shrungair nana dhatu vichitritaihi nana drumalata gulmair nana mrugaganavrutai. Kailasa is full of mountains, filled with all kinds of valuable jewels and minerals, and surrounded by all varieties of valuable trees and plants. The top of the hill is nicely decorated by various types of deer. Nana malaprasravanair Nana Kandarasanubhihi Ramanam Viharantinam Ramanai Siddhayoshitam. There are many waterfalls, and in the mountains there are many beautiful caves in which the very beautiful wives of the mystics are found. Mayurakeka Birutam Madandhali Vimurchitam Plavitairaktakantanam Kujitaischa Patatrinam. On the Kailasa hill, there is always the rhythmical sound of the peacock's sweet vibrations and the bees humming. Cuckoos are always singing, and the other birds whisper amongst themselves. Ahvayantamivodhastair Dvijan Kamadughair Drumaihi Vrajantamiva Matangair Gunantamiva Nirjaraihi. There are tall trees with straight branches that appear to call the sweet birds, and when the herds of elephants pass through the hills, it appears that the Kailasha hill moves with them. When the waterfalls resound it, it appears that the Kailasha hill does also. Mandaraif parijataischa saralaischopashobhitam tamalaishaladalaischa kovidarasanaarjunaihi chutai kadambair nipaischa nagapunnaga champakaihi patalashoka bakulaihi kundai kurabakairapi. The whole of the Kailasha hill is decorated with various kinds of trees, of which the following names may be mentioned: Mandara, Parijata, Sarala, Tamala, Tala, Kovidara, Asana, Arjuna, Amrajati, Kadamba, Dhuli Kadamba, Naga, Punnaga, Champaka, Patala, Ashoka, Bakula, Kunda, and Kurabaka. The entire hill is decorated with such trees, which produces flowers with fragrant aromas. स्वर्णार्णशतपत्रैश्च वरवेणुकजातिभिः कुब्जकैर्मल्लिकाभिश्च माधवीभिश्च मण्डितम्. There are other trees also which decorate the hill, such as the golden lotus flower, the cinnamon tree, Malati, Kubja, Mallika, and Madhavi. Panaso Dumbarashvatta Plakshanyagrodha Hingubihi Bhutairoshadibih Pugair Rajapugaischa Jambubihi. Kailasa hill is also decorated with such trees as kata, jackfruit, julara, banyan trees, plakshas, nyagrodhas, and trees producing asafoetida. Also, there are trees of betel nuts and bhurjapatra, as well as rajapuga, blackberries, and similar other trees. कर्जूरामृतकाम्राध्यैः प्रियालमधुकैङ्गुदैः धूमजातिभिरन्यैश्च राजितं वेणुकीचकैः. There are mango trees, priyala, madhuka, and inguda. Besides these, there are other trees like thin bamboos, kichaka, and varieties of other bamboo trees, all decorating the tract of Kailasha hill. Kumudotpalaka hlara Shatapatra vanardhibihi Nalinishum kalam kujat swagavrundopashobitam mrugai shaka mrugai krodair mrugendrair riksha shalyakaihi gavayai sharabhair vyagrai rurubhir mahishadibihi. There are different kinds of lotus flowers such as Kumuda, Utpala, and Satapatra. The forest appears to be a decorated garden, and the small lakes are full of various kinds of birds who whisper very sweetly. There are many kinds of other animals also, like deer, monkeys, boars, lions, rikshas, salyakas, forest cows, forest asses, tigers, small deer, buffalo, and many other animals who are fully enjoying their lives. Karnantraikapadashvastair nirjushtam vrukanabhibihi kadalikandasamruddhan alini pulinashriyam. There are varieties of deer such as Karnantra, Ekapada, Aswasya, Vriksha, and Kasturi, the deer which bears musk. Besides the deer, there are many banana trees which decorate the small hillside lakes very nicely. Paryastam nandhaya satyaha स्नानपुण्यतरोधया विलोक्य भूतेश गिरिं विबुधा vismayam yayuhu. There is a small lake named Alakananda in which Sati used to take bath, and that lake is especially auspicious. All the demigods, after seeing the specific beauty of Kailasa hill, were struck with the wonder at the great opulence to be found there. Dadrushustatra te ramyam alang ala alakam nama vai purim vanam saugandikam chapi yatra tannama pankajam. Thus the demigod saw wonderfully beautiful region known as Alaka in the forest known as Saugandika, which means full of fragrance. The forest is known as Saugandika because of its abundance of lotus flowers. Ananda chalakananda cha saritau bahyatah puraha tirtha pada padamboja rajasativa pavane. There are also the two rivers named Nanda and Alakananda. These two rivers are sanctified by the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda. Yayo surasriya hakshatta ravaruhu swadishnataha क्रीडन्ति पुंसः सिञ्चन्त्यो विगाह्य रतिकर्षिताः. My dear Kshata, Vidura, the celestial demons come down to those rivers in their airplanes with their husbands, and after sexual enjoyment, they enter the water and enjoy sprinkling their husbands with water. Yayostan snana vibhrashtan avakunduma pinjaram vitrushopi pibantyam baha payayanto gajihi. After the damsels of the heavenly planets bathe in the water, it becomes yellowish and fragrant due to the kunkuma from their bodies. Thus the elephants come to bathe there with their wives, and the she elephants, and they also drink the water, although they are not thirsty. Tara hema maharatna vimana shata samkulam jushtam punyajana stribhir yatasvam satadidghanam. The airplanes of the heavenly denizens are bedecked with pearls, gold, and many valuable jewels. The heavenly denizens are compared to clouds in the sky decorated with occasional flashes of electric lightning. Hitva yaksheshwara purim vanam saugandikam chatat dumai Kamadugair hrudyam chitramalya palachadaihi. While traveling, the demigods passed over the forest known as Saugandika, which is full of varieties of flowers, fruits, and desire trees. While passing over the fruit, they also saw the regions of Yaksheshwara. Raktakanta Kaghanika Swaramandita Shatpadam Bala Kalahamsa Kula Preshtam Karadanda Jalashayam. In that celestial forest, there were many birds whose necks were colored reddish and whose sweet sounds mixed with the humming of the bees. The lakes were abundantly decorated with crying swans as well as strong-stemmed lotus flowers. Vana Kunjara Samgrushta Harichandana Vayuna Adi Punya Janastrinam muhurunmatayanmanaha. All these atmospheric influences unsettled the forest elements who flocked together in the sandalwood forest, and the blowing wind agitated the minds of the damsels there for further sexual enjoyment. वैडूर्यकृतसोपाना वाप्य उत्पलमालिनीः प्राप्तं किं पुरुषैर्दृष्ट्वा त आराददृशुर्वटम् त आदार dadrushurvatam. They also saw that the bathing ghats and their staircases were made of Vaidurya money. The water was full of lotus flowers. Passing by such lakes, the demigods reached a place where there was a great banyan tree. Sayojanashatotsedaha pado navitapayataha पर्यकृताचलच्चायो निर्नीडस्तापवर्जितः. That banyan tree was 800 miles high, and its branches spread over 600 miles around. The tree cast a fine shade which permanently cooled the temperature, yet there was no noise of birds. Tasmin mahayogamaye mumukshusharane suraha dadrushuh shivamasinam tyaktamarshamivantakam. The demigod saw Lord Shiva sitting under that tree, which was competent to give perfection to mystic yogis and deliver all people. As grave as time eternal, he appeared to have given up all anger. Sanandanaadair mahasiddhaihi shantai samshanta vigraham upayamanam sakyacha bhartra guhyakarakshasam. Lord Shiva sat there surrounded by saintly persons like Kuvera, the master of Guhyakas, and the 4 Kumaras who were already liberated souls. Lord Shiva was grave and saintly. Vidyatapo yogapatam astitam tamadhishwaram charantam vishwasuhrudam vatsalya lokamangalam. The demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in this perfection as the master of senses, knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was the friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious. Lingam chatapasabhishtam bhasmadandajajinam angena sandhyabrarucha chandralekam cha bibratam. He was seated on the deerskin and was practicing all forms of austerity. Because his body was smeared with ashes, he looked like an evening cloud. On his hair was a sign of a half moon, a symbolic representation. Upavishtam dharbamayam vrutsyam brahma sanatanam naradaya pravochantam pruchate shrunvatam satam. He was seated on a straw mattress and speaking to all present, including a great sage Narada, to whom he specifically spoke about the absolute truth. Krutvorau dakshino savyam Krutvorau dakshine savyam Padapadmam cha januni Bahum prakoshte Kshamalam Asinam Tarkamudraya. His left leg was placed on his right thigh, and his left hand was placed on his left thigh. In the right hand he had Rudraksha beads. This sitting posture is called Virasana. He sat in the Virasana posture and his finger was in the mode of argument. तं ब्रह्मनिर्वाणसमाधिमाश्रितं व्युपाश्रितं गिरिशं योगकक्षां सलोकपाला मुनयो मनूनाम् आद्यं मनुं प्राञ्जलयः प्रणेमुः. All the sages and the demigods, headed by Indira, offered their respectful obeisances unto Lord Shiva with folded hands. Lord Shiva was dressed in saffron garments and absorbed in trance, thus appearing to be the foremost of all sages. Satu Satupalabhyagatamatmayonim Surasureishayirabhivanditangrihi Uttaya Chakre Shirasabivandanam Arhattamah Kasya Yataiva Vishnuhu. Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons, but still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamadeva offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyapa Muni. Tata pare siddhagana maharshibir ye vai samantadanu neelalohitam namaskritah praha shashankashekaram krutapranamam prahasannivatmabhuhu. All the sages who were sitting with Lord Shiva, such as Narada and others, also offered his respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma, smiling, began to speak to Lord Shiva. Jane tvamisham vishwasya Brahmovacha Jane tvamisham vishwasya Jagato yoni bijayoho Shapte shivasya cha param Yattad brahma nirantaram. Lord Brahma said, My dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination, father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you are in that way. Tvameva bhagavannetat Shiva shaktyo Swarupayoho Vishwam Srujasi Pastyatsi Kridannurnapato Yatha. My dear Lord, you create this cosmic manifestation, maintain it and annihilate it by expansion of your personality, exactly as the spider creates, maintains and winds up its web. Tvameva dharmartadughabhipatthaye dakshena sutrena sasarjitadvaram tvayaiva loka vasitascha setavo yan brahmana kshadra dhate dhrutavrataha. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced a system of sacrifices through the agony of Daksha, through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the four varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. Tvam karmanam mangala mangalanam kartusvalokam tanushe swaparam va amangalanam cha tamisramulbhanam viparyayah kena tadena kasyachit. O most auspicious Lord, you have ordained the heavenly planets, the spiritual Vaikunta planets, and the impersonal Brahman sphere as the respective destinations of the performers of auspicious activities. Similarly, for others who are miscreants, you have destined different kinds of hells which are horrible and ghastly. Yet sometimes it is found that these destinations are just the opposite. It is very difficult to ascertain the cause of this. न वै सतां त्वच्चरणार्पितात्मनां भूतेषु सर्वेष्वभिपश्यतां तव भूतानि चात्मन्यपृथग्दिधृक्षतां प्रायेण रोषाभिभवेद्यतापशुम्. My dear Lord, devotees who have fully dedicated their lives unto your lotus feet certainly observe your presence as Paramatma in each and every being, and as such they do not differentiate between one living being and another. Such persons treat all living entities equally. They never become overwhelmed by anger like animals who can see nothing without differentiation. पृथग्धियः कर्मधृशो दुराशयाः परोदयेनार्पित हृदुजोनिशंसं हृदुजोनिशं पृथग्धियः कर्मधृशो दुराशयाः परोदयेनार्पित हृदुजोर्निशं परान् तान्मावदीध्यैववधान् भवद्विदः. Persons who possess everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by Providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Yasmin yada pushkaranabhamayaya durantaya sprushtu dhiyah prutagdrishah kurvanti tatra hyanukampyaya krupam nasadavo daiva balat krute kramam. My dear Lord, if in some places materialists who are already bewildered by the insurmountable illusionary energy of the Supreme Godhead sometimes commit offenses, a saintly person with compassion does not take this seriously, knowing that they commit offenses because they are overpowered by the illusionary energy. He should not show his prowess to counteract them. Bhavamstu pumsah paramasya mayaya durantaya spruštamatis samastadrik taya hritatmasvanukar karmachetah svanugraham kartumiharhasi prabho. My dear Lord, you are never bewildered by the formidable influence of the illusionary energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you are omniscient and should be merciful and compassionate towards those who are bewildered by the same illusionary energy and are very much attached to the fruitive activities. कुर्वध्यरस्योद्धरणं हतस्य भोः त्वया समाप्स्य त्वया समाप्तस्य मनो प्रजापतेः न यत्र भागं तव भागिनो ददुः कुयाजिनो येन मखो निमीयते. My dear Lord Shiva, you are a shareholder of a portion of the sacrifice and you are the giver of the result. The bad priest did not deliver your share and therefore you destroyed everything. Jivatadhyajamanoyam prapadye. My dear Lord Shiva, you are the shareholder of a portion of the sacrifice and you are the giver of the result. The bad priest did not deliver your share and therefore you destroyed everything and the sacrifice remains unfinished. Now you should do the needful and take your rightful share. Jivatadhyajamanoyam prapadyetaakshini bhagaha bhrugosh Shamashuni rohantu rohantu purnodantascha purvavat. My dear Lord, by your mercy, the performer of the sacrifice, King Daksha, may get back his life. Bhaga may get his eyes, Bhrugu his moustache, and Pusha his teeth. Devanam bhagragaatranam rutwijam chayudashmabhihi Bhavatanu ashumanyostvanaturam. O Lord Shiva, may the demigods and the priests whose limbs have been broken by your soldiers recover from the injuries by your grace. Yesha te rudrabhagostu yadutrishtodvarasya vai yajnaste rudrabhagena kalpatamadhya yajnahan. O destroyer of the sacrifices, please take your portion of the sacrifice and let the sacrifice be completed by your grace. Thus ends the chapter entitled Brahma Satisfied Lord Shiva. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.